Welcome back to the show. It is Thursday, February 8th. I hope you guys are having a good morning. Welcome back to the Brandon Mason Show. We got a lot to talk about today as I pull the hit list up. There's a lot happening and a lot to talk about. We're going to dive right into Stefon Diggs, the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. Before we do that, I just want to say, listen, when you get up in the morning like me and you're running around, whether you're chasing kids or not, it's like exhausted, man. You sit in this chair, you turn these lights on, you go, welcome back to the show, and you go, I got to take these glasses off, man. I got a lot to think about. But let's get right into it because we got Stefon Diggs. There's some turmoil there. We got, look at the hit list there. We got Jim Harbaugh. Things that are talking about from Michigan, how he took the contract that got in front of me here with the Chargers. And then there's some Colin Kaepernick conversation that we're going to dive right into as well. The Sphere out in Las Vegas, what they're doing. A man caught climbing on the Sphere. We got quarterbacks, how important they are. Nick Saban back in sports. Scott Pollard needs a heart transplant. Penn State intro as they enter the stadium. How electrifying. And then at the end, we have our quote, as we always do, to close out the segment. Now let's get right into what's happening with the Buffalo Bills. So there's a lot of conversation right now, a lot of chatter. Before this season started, Josh Allen, Stefon Diggs had a little bit of uncomfortable situation going on. And people are like, what's going on? Why are they combative? Why are they not working together? What's the situation? You know, what's going on there? And it just turns out that these are two of the best, duos in football right now. And people are like, how can they have a concern? How can they have an issue? What's the problem? Line up. They are a Super Bowl type team this past season. Well, I can tell you this, latest interviews, as people caught up with Stefon Diggs, it wasn't really good. It was like, how are you looking forward to the next season? What's going to happen? He's like, well, the quote is, I'm taking it day by day. Okay, when someone looks at you and goes, I'm taking it day by day, there's a concern. Yeah, every player has to take it day by day in the offseason and practice. But the question is, will you be back for the Buffalo Bills? And when the response is, I'm taking it day by day, there's some concerns. So they had their highs, obviously, Josh Allen, Stefon Diggs, they had their highs. But Howard, pull it up, because they also had their lows. And Stefon Diggs, before the season started, already started a little bit of turmoil. Why isn't he showing up? Why isn't he at practice? What's going on? Is it personal stuff? What's the relationship like with Josh Allen? Because that's what's going to bring the Buffalo Bills into the next chapter. What's the relationship with Josh Allen? What's the relationship with the team? How do the Buffalo Bills move on? And I got to tell you, flip me back real quick, Howard, to the original photo. We have a conversation people are talking about too. Josh Allen, he carried the team on his back all season, running the ball, passing the ball, in the pocket, scrambling, getting first downs, diving for first downs, making plays. And it's like, how does this man leave a game after getting beat, basically upset, felt like, even though it was a good football team, they get beat. And it's like, they just missed the opportunity to move on, right, to the AFC Championship, to get to the Super Bowl. How does someone like Josh Allen move on and go, what were we missing? We had a lot of pieces to the pie. We had a great running game, great passing game, great receivers, good offensive line, good defense, good coaching. It's like, okay, back to the drawing board. What do we need to get to be successful next season? Okay, and before we move on, there are teams doing that. They're picking up new coaches. Players are being traded around left and right more than I've ever seen, which is going to lead us into this conversation right now. Jim Harbaugh. Something just flipped here for me, Howard. I'm not sure what happened here. Give me 1 second as we adjust this. 1 second here. Howard's going to pull up and flip the situation for us. So the interesting conversation that I want to dial into and talk about, more importantly, is obviously Jim Harbaugh. This coach right now that obviously was with Michigan, and then he went on, and now he's obviously with the Chargers. What is that conversation looking like right now? Well, here's the concern. And I'm going to keep, Howard, I'm going to keep it right on the regular one and scroll down as I communicate here with people in the chat. Good morning to you guys. As we fix the combination on the left on the hit list, we have good morning, Thomas, good morning, Candy, good morning, Devon, good morning, Teresa, good morning, Brittany, good morning, Brenda, good morning. Everyone that's in here, thank all of you for tuning in here. Howard, are we good with the hit list there on the side? If not, I can see it on my screen. We're good to roll. So let me just pull up some images real quick so we can dive into this. So Jim Harbaugh, okay, here's the problem we got right now with Jim Harbaugh. Went to Michigan, obviously was great for a long time. He was offered 10 years, $125 million, okay, to stay with Michigan. And it's like, okay, why didn't you stay there? What's the situation? Why did you not stay there? Well, people forget, and he made it very clear, I'm also a California guy. So he takes this position, and he goes out there. Now, offered 10 years, $125 million. He says, oh, you know what? I got to pass on it. I'm taking the Chargers contract. Flip behind there, Howard. He now takes the deal with the Chargers, 5 years, okay, 5 years, $80 million. A little bit less money, but a lot less years. So it was like maybe they just couldn't compete with the deal, right? Maybe they just couldn't compete with the deal. So, hey, Howard, can we scroll down the hit list or we leave it go? Trying to connect with Howard here. We got a lot to show you today, a lot of cool videos and content. And I want to make sure, Howard, you there with me?
Yeah, I got you. I'm going to take care of it.
Okay. And we can scroll down the hit list. We're good to roll through that hit list, or should we wait for you?
I'll take care of it. I'll scroll for you.
Okay. So, and scroll down here. Bring me down to Jim Harbaugh. So, basically, the thing is here, guys, we're expanding our network, expanding our show, so I apologize. A couple of interruptions we'll have going on today. It's something that we're working with as we expand and bring you a lot more things for you guys to see. But Jim Harbaugh took here $80 million contract for 5 years, and this is his quarterback, Justin Herbert. So it's like, okay, Justin Herbert, you inherit an excellent quarterback. You inherit an excellent person that you can go in and coach and be around, which is fantastic. But it's like he says, we're ready to win right now. Jim Harbaugh's a winner. So when he steps in that locker room and he has all these guys around him, now he's looking at other players and he's talking to people, even like Saquon Barkley's high on the list. So the Chargers are going to be ready to go. But the conversation that I want to ask you guys and people watching this right now in the chat, Jim Harbaugh is connected to Colin Kaepernick. He coached him, right? Then they were together. He talked to him at Michigan. Then he went to San Francisco. Do you think watching this that Colin Kaepernick should get back in the NFL and play football? Is this a bad decision for Jim Harbaugh? Is it a bad decision to welcome Colin Kaepernick back to the NFL after all the political crap, all the debates and problematic, whether you like him kneeling on the field or don't like him kneeling on the field? We're not going down that road. I'm just saying, is it smart for Jim Harbaugh to bring Colin Kaepernick back into the NFL? It's just, to me, regardless of how good he is, there was a lot of concerns, a lot of problems, and I just think it could potentially be bad situation. Good morning. Good morning, Weeks. Good morning. And so basically it's like this. You bring him back, he could be a great player. He might bring a spark to the team. That's awesome. He could bring a spark to whatever team, but it's like, is it going to be good for the NFL, right? Is that going to be a good situation? I want people to talk about it right now. Should they bring Colin Kaepernick back? Yes or no? In the chat right now, you can communicate amongst each other. You don't got to listen to me. Good morning. Laura Flowers, my mom, good morning to you. Welcome you also in every day. Thank you for watching as we move forward. And Howard is fixing our hit list right on the side. As we scroll down, we're making some adjustments because we're expanding the network. It's a lot going on. Howard, are we good to go? You can move me forward. Move me forward to this sphere. Let's talk about that because, I want to show you something that's really interesting, okay? If you guys haven't seen it, the Sphere out in Las Vegas. Okay, I don't know what you guys think, but this is amazing. You drive down Las Vegas and boom, this Sphere, and I'm explaining to you why. It's like, Brandon, why are you pulling this Sphere up in this conversation with sports entertainment? I'm gonna tell you why right now. Because the Sphere is taking over Las Vegas. Everyone that goes out there right now, have you ever seen this in the chat? Have you seen this before? Comment on there. Have you seen the Sphere before? Have you seen it on YouTube? Have you seen it in person? It's phenomenal, okay? Now, why is this important? Because there was a man, they're lighting up. I have a clip for you to see, obviously, what's going on. But they are lighting up the Sphere with the Chiefs and the 49ers helmets, which I'm going to get to in a second. But here's the problem. Howard, pull it up. This man is climbing on the Sphere. Okay, Las Vegas is trying to put the helmets up. The Chiefs, the 49ers, the Super Bowl. I got all these clips I'm going to show you in a minute so you can see what I'm talking about. And this man is climbing on the Sphere. I don't know what he's doing, but he said, I'm trying to go up there and say, I'm trying to do it for a cause. I'm doing it for this. But this man is literally climbing on there. Do you know how high that is? Do you understand? And I got a clip for you guys to see. Check this out right now. This is what it looks like inside the Sphere. During concerts. I mean, this is a different world, right? Like, you are literally in a different location. It's phenomenal. The concerts, the ability to put on a cast. They want to do UFC in here. Okay, they want to host a UFC event in here, in a Sphere. Okay, and now, this is what's happening, okay? They're putting on the helmets for Super Bowl. They got the Chiefs helmet, they got the 49ers helmet, and they got a man climbing on here. Okay, check this out. Look how amazing this is. This is what's happened in Las Vegas, right? And it's what happened in Vegas, stays in Vegas. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. And this is obviously an aerial shot. You can't get the feel of how massive this Sphere is like this. But the point is, there is a man climbing on here. Okay, I want to break this down. So the man climbs up on the Sphere and they go to arrest this guy. It is deadly and very scary for someone to even get to this man. And I pulled this picture to go back here of this man. Literally caught climbing on top of the globe. I mean, this is pretty, look, I gotta tell you, on one hand, it's very awkward and very weird. On the other hand, I'm like, hey man, my hat's off to you. That's pretty damn, wow. Pretty, dangerous, obviously, but hey, good for you. We're happy for you that you got out what you wanted to get out, but now you're obviously arrested. You'll get let out, but it's very, very confusing. But let's move on to the topic next, Howard. Let's pull up the quarterback situation. Now, listen, a lot of people are complaining, quarterbacks are being paid a lot of money. Running backs aren't getting as much. Why are we getting let? I played running back. I know what it's like. Thank you for Clutch Sports letting us use your graphic. It's like, why are people upset that quarterbacks are getting paid big money and running backs, receivers, other people are not? Well, here's the thing. You can replace running backs. Not every single running back in National Football League, but most of them. 99% of them. But, let's just say the quarterback position. You can't replace Patrick Mahomes. You just can't replace him. You got to pay him. Can't replace, people like Lamar Jackson. And we have Brock Purdy here because in the Super Bowl. Mr. Irrelevant. Can Mr. Irrelevant be replaced? At this point, before this, I'm like, he's a game manager. I still think, look, he's not an overall game changer outside the pocket and all crazy, but the man is becoming more of a threat than people thought. He's winning football games. He's beating big-time teams. He's in the Super Bowl, and I got to tell you, last season, he was pretty damn close also. Played great last year. So Brock Purdy is really building a name for himself. It's not just like, he's just a game manager. Is he Patrick Mahomes? No. But I got to tell you, the Super Bowl is a lot closer than people think. People are like, the Chiefs are going to get help with the refs. Forget the refs. Listen, this is a big-time matchup. Big-time matchup. A lot of confusion right now. The 49ers are complaining. Their field isn't good. Their practice isn't good. They're on the UNLV, Las Vegas, that practice field. They don't like it. And the Chiefs are riding high in the Vegas, obviously the Raiders Coliseum, their location with a great setup. But my point is, in this conversation, obviously, about quarterbacks, you have people that are really hard to replace in the National Football League. Quarterbacks typically stay the longest. This past season now, the Patriots in shambles, don't know who they're going to start. Go to Chicago, they're trying to let Justin Fields go. They want to find somebody else. I mean, the Jets, as soon as Aaron Rodgers got hurt, it was like, we don't know what we're going to do. I mean, you could go team to team to team, and it's hit or miss because it's like they need a quarterback. And it's so hard to find that guy, which is why they're so hard to replace. So the point is, they're making big-time money. Running backs are not making the money like they should have. Receivers, okay, making some bucks, but running backs, man, they're falling off. Anyway, if you compare the position, the quarterbacks are just riding high. But let's move on to Nick Saban. Howard, thank you for fixing our hit list over here on the side as we have a lot going on. Nick Saban, he just leaves. He's back in action already. Let me pull this up right now. Nick Saban is already back, and I got the highlight here, and I also have the document via website to pull up what's going on with Nick Saban. He joins ESPN College Game Day as the analyst. So it wasn't long it wasn't long for Nick Saban, who retired last month, the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, after 17 seasons, is ready to go back to work. One of the most accomplished coaches in college football history, with 7 national championships, Saban will be joining ESPN. It was just announced yesterday. 72 years old, will primarily serve as an analyst on ESPN College Game Day. And this is pretty cool. Why is this cool? Because people even like Pat McAfee are on there as well. And ESPN is making some changes. They're bringing some great people on. And we're going to take a look right now at the chat. Obviously, we're talking about Nick Saban pulls picture up, but let's look at the chat right now. Oh, Candy, you said here, the sphere is pretty cool, but stupid for the man to be climbing it, obviously. Great weeks, shout out, pray. I see this here. Hey, probably would have been 49ers back there much sooner. You know what? I got to agree with that, too. You know, look, there's a lot of conversation with that. But more importantly, the NFL is making big-time changes, big-time coaches, moving, and players, the portal, all this happening. But more importantly right now, I want to move forward to something that was really interesting, and we're going to take our time with this segment, okay? Scott Pollard. Who is Scott Pollard? Now, you guys are going to say, who is that? Well, he was an NBA player, okay? He played on several teams, was actually a really good player, played on several teams, but now he needs a heart transplant. So Scott Pollard is staying in the hospital currently. Here's the problem. The man is like 100 feet tall, right? Massive. And I want to say, was it 6'11" or 7 feet, something out of the norm. He needs a heart transplant. He cannot leave the hospital, and he's not going to leave the hospital until he has a heart that can help him. Okay, if you're watching this in the chat right now, comment in there, say where you're from. I can communicate with you. Just put the city you're in. I'll connect with you right now. But Scott Pollard right now is in the hospital. And what's the problem? He can't find someone that can give him the heart he needs. He's massive. There's not many 7-foot people walking around with what their doctors are saying, with the ability to produce what he needs. Okay? Pull the picture behind there, Howard, for me. This is why. Now, this is what's tough, right? You go from being an NBA basketball player doing all these great things, and all of a sudden you're in the hospital and you're like, I need a heart transplant. Really difficult for his family, and I have a picture here right now I'll pull up. Actually, I'll pull up right now. This is what I had to get to today, which is really heartfelt that I see, and for me. If you have kids, you kind of understand this, right? Like, you're in the hospital, and you go from being an NBA player, riding the high, winning games, you know, and then you're like, okay, this hits you in the face. And it's heartfelt, literally heartfelt, and much love for him. Hit the like button if you can in the chat for this man. This is really difficult to see, especially if you have kids. You'll understand this. As he's trying to get this heart transplant going on, they have people that are reaching out to him, and they're going, I need to get, but this doesn't work. This doesn't match. This doesn't match. Because we're trying to fulfill, the doctors are trying to fulfill someone who's basically abnormal, right? You're abnormally sized. So it's problematic. People don't know what to do, how to make this work for you. Really, really concerning. Hats off to him and his family, and prayers, obviously, for a basketball player. We talk sports on here. I thought it was important to share this with you. Obviously, and his wife here in the hospital as he's trying to get that heart transplant. It is it is out of control. In weeks, I see what you said. Circulate that amount of blood it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And I just don't know. And again, I pulled this picture up again, not to be repetitive, but this, to me, is something that people should look at and be grateful throughout your day, because the man literally, basically, massive specimens in the bed, someone who will protect your kids, protect your family, now is praying that they can get him a heart to match his body type to pump that amount of blood, which is pretty tough to watch and pretty tough to see. But moving on to something that's more exciting, a little bit less heartfelt here. We got the Penn State Nittany Lion introduction and entrance to the stadium. Check this out. This should be on loud up, hard on, right, Howard? The music's up. This is amazing. The entrance here and why this is important. This is what football's about. Like, this is what football's about. Camaraderie, teamwork, effort, discipline. This is what I want this show to people understand. This is what people do behind the scenes. And then when you come out for that game, you've had so much opportunity. Look at this crowd. The opportunity to be a part of something like this. The opportunity to come out and watch the camaraderie, and I use the word all the time because we're seeing it less in sports. So many individuals. This is what football is supposed to be about. Look at this. You come out there with your boys, you practice all year. The locker room, the hype, the feeling. This is what football's about. One of the best entrances I've ever seen in my life. The players are enjoying it. This is what you practice for, and this is what you play for. This brings all the fans alive. And I see him listed in the chat. We are Penn State. I love it. I love it. It's great to see you in here as well. This is just important, right? This is just what makes life, football, sports so freaking amazing. Listen, that is what it's about, the camaraderie of sports. And the problem we have today, right? The problem we have today is everyone's an individual, right? You do have times where you should have your individual talent. You got your skill positions. The offensive line's working together, so they're in it together. The defense line's in it together. But you got your running backs, you got your receivers, you got your quarterback, a little bit more individual, a little bit more going on, more outside the box, making plays, highlight reels, yes. But you just saw the camaraderie, that's leaving the game right now. It's like so many players I played a couple snaps, didn't work out, I'm out of here. Now, if your coach gets fired, I understand that. Your coach gets fired, or you're just not playing at all. You're a third string, fourth string, I get it. Head out of there, do what you gotta do. Go build your career. But what I'm saying is, in the NFL right now, in college football, and people even in high school now are like, I'm going to leave here, I'm going to private school, I'm out of here. It's like the camaraderie is shifting away from the excitement of people and what you do every day, from practice to the locker room, to the gym, to even the training room, to sitting in the cold tub, the hot tub, rehabilitation for your body, all that. Players do things together to come on the field to be successful. And I think a lot of people are missing out on that. And Penn State, watching it come out through the locker room, it symbolizes what it's like to be a team. And that's what's more important. No running back can be better than the whole team. You need your team around you, and that's why I pulled it up today. I think people should understand that. We're going to move on right now to the quote. This is really important. We do it every single day. Check this out. Now, we don't want to tell our dreams. We want to show them. And this is important for people that are watching this right now. We end with a quote every day, okay? Cristiano Ronaldo. This is important. Listen to these words. We don't want to tell our dreams. We want to show them. And why is this so significant? Why is this so important? I'm going to tell you right now, every time I've ever built anything, as I was building and growing and doing it and launching and going and doing, in my mind, I'm guilty of this too. When I'm building something, I want people to know right now, hey, I'm building this right now. Why? Because it's important. I'm building it. It's new. You want the world to watch. You want your friends to watch. You want your people to watch. Everyone in the chat right now, I appreciate you as we expand our network. This is going to grow big. You want people to watch you. You want it to grow. And networks are calling us. I said this yesterday. I got some things I will announce next week. Networks are reaching out to us and a whole bunch of stuff. And I said, I'm building my own platform. I don't want to just, sell out and go boom and just go work over here and be on the panel. I want to build my own shit. That's why I'm doing this. But at the end of the day, that quote is important. Every time I've ever built anything, I said, look, I'm building this. I'm doing this. But listen, you don't got to tell everybody all the time. You can build it, right? And that's why this is important. We don't want to just tell our dreams. You can tell some people. We don't want to just tell our dreams. We want to show them. So every day I get up, I'm doing this every single day to build and get more people involved. I'm going to get all the people start coming interviewing live guests on the show and people, because I want to show you that it's building, not just talk about it, but show you. That's more important. I appreciate all of you guys jumping on here with me today. I know a lot of people need to reach out to and communicate with you. Thank you for coming in the chat and talking. You can join the Mason Mob now too. You go back to the beginning of the YouTube platform, to the channel. You can see you could join the Mason Mob, and I will be doing something really cool for everybody that's in here currently. Before we expand and sign a couple deals that we're doing, I'm going to do something special for everybody that's in here. So every single day, I appreciate all of you tuning in with me to talk live, go over the hit list, and bring on our live guests and shows. We do have a co-host that's going to be coming off and on as well, take care of a couple things. I look forward to seeing you guys bright and early, Monday through Friday. But more importantly, I'll see you tomorrow. We're talking about the Super Bowl. I will see you guys 10 a.m. Until next time.